Welcome to the Sonido Sin Límites podcast. I'm Priscilla Noriega, your host, and joining me today in the studio, we have Viaje Nahual visiting us from Vegas. The members are here after yesterday's Cito de Mayo event in downtown Santa Ana on 4th and Birch. If you were there last night, you would have experienced their distinctive sound, which take you on a psychedelic journey through their shamanic heritage, taking you through the modern sound of ritual combined with metallic sounds and a synchronous spirit. Welcome to the podcast, Viaje Nahual. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, let's start with introductions. If we can work down the line here, let me have each member introduce yourselves, and if you don't mind, tell the listeners today about your instrument and a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, my name is Fernando. I play percussion for Viaje Nahual. I am from Lima, Peru. I started playing the percussion instrument in Miami about, say, 15 years ago. It's an instrument that once I started playing it, I knew it was the instrument that was made for me.
Right on. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
My name is Ricky. I'm the timekeeper. I play the drums on the van. So I'm from Mexico. I was born on Michoacan. And that's who I am.
That's me.
That's me. That's Ricky.
The timekeeper.
Right.
Ricky
Ricardes. There's so much names.
My name is Cindy. Thank you for having us here, and great introduction, Priscilla.
Thank you so much.
I play the bass, and I also play the synth for this band. I like to play all kinds of instruments, honestly. But yeah, originally, I was born in Riverside, California, and but I grew up in Vegas since I was age 3. And yeah, happy to be here.
Nice.
My name is Miguel. I play the guitar. I sing, and I play a little bit of synth now. And I was born in Puebla, Mexico. And yeah, now we all got together in Vegas and we created Viaje Nahual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
Yes.
Glad to have you guys here. So I have a quick question for you guys. How did you guys come up with your band name? Curious. I'm so curious how that conjured up, you know?
So it was...
Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So for whoever, that doesn't speak Spanish, what it translates to is viaje means trip or journey, and Nahual is pre-Hispanic shaman. So during the pandemic, we were in a different band called Corompa. But when the pandemic, goodbye Corompa.
What's up?
When the pandemic hit, a lot of us, I feel like, kind of we were thinking about which direction we wanted to take in our personal journey as in life, and some of the members left the band, like their focus shifted somewhere else, So from that, Ricky, Cindy, and I stayed playing together, and we wanted to change the name for a long time. We came up with all these names. We're like this and that and this and that. I think
some of them were already taken.
Yeah. And then
it was kind of hard.
Yeah, it was hard. There was some cool ones too. But then around that time, I was listening a lot to this podcast called La Verdadera Historia de México. And the professor, he's a history professor from Mexico.
Okay.
He's from Mexico City. I forgot his name, but there was an episode that I heard, and he talks about nahuales, And then I was like, this is awesome. So in Mexican folk, if you talk about a nahual, it's usually seen as something bad, like someone, a brujo, a witch, like someone that's doing the devil's work or something like that, But yeah, so if you ask anyone that's from Mexico, you're like, oh, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's bad, But the thing
there's a lot of like mythical stories about nahuales in Mexico.
Yeah. So, but usually it's either your animal spirit or a brujo,
Oh, okay.
So, but that was printed into our culture way when the Spaniards came to Mexico, and then they saw these shamans. Experimenting with psychedelics like mushrooms, ayahuasca, and they saw them tripping, but their goal was to like reach higher consciousness, you know, through psychedelics, through learning about math, through learning about the stars and stuff.
Right.
So once they silent trip and they're like, oh, they're brujos, like they're bad, you know, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's like literally a shaman that's just connecting with nature, you know. So that's a Nahual. So I brought it up to them. I was like, hey, guys, I love this, like Nahual,
Yeah.
Nahual, you know. And then I was like, we should be name something with Nahual. And then that's when Cindy came with Viaje, because you can tell them about Viaje.
Viaje, I'm a big fan of like movement and dancing, and I really wanted to incorporate that into the name, you know, kind of like encourage people to dance if they are really feeling it, you know,
Yes.
like let go, not be shy, to move. And and then like traveling, you know, like from point A to point B, or also mainly like spiritual growth, you know, like everyone has like that journey. I feel like
Yep.
like we're trying to get somewhere. So viaje was kind of like perfect to me. Like has different meanings, you know, like travel, trip, tripping, you know,
Trippy.
yeah,
All part of the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you put them together, Viaje Nahual translates to the shaman's trip or journey.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how's that journey been going for you guys?
It's
pretty
pretty trippy.
Pretty trippy right now.
Yeah, it's cool. Honestly, since we started this project, I feel like a lot of doors have been opening for us that we've never had the opportunity to like experience before. You know, like this is cool. This is the first podcast we do. You know,
Nice.
we started traveling last year. We went to Texas. I've never been to Texas, but music took us there. You know,
Yeah.
We went to Portland, went to Seattle. You know, and it's like all these people that are helping us out. Like we're just grateful to be there. You know. And shout out to everyone, you know. Shout out Soli Luna, she's helping us out a lot right
Luna,
now. Yeah, and it's just
That's
an awesome trip so far, you know.
Yeah.
It's been
so
great.
would you say like ever since you guys like committed to this name, like it maybe set a different type of expectation for your guys' own spirituality, like and how you guys relate with the world and relate with yourselves?
Definitely,
Yeah.
I feel like we try to incorporate these thoughts and these ways of living now, you know, like I feel like we kind of were already, but it's like okay, let's focus, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
We're like being held like accountable.
Yeah.
It's a great responsibility to carry that name.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So we do think about a lot of the things that we do say around ourselves, or you know, it's just because we do want to become a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone is, you know, it's just now we have that name, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to
claiming it.
Yeah, we don't want to be categorized into like the rock star, you know. Like we wanna spread a good message, you know, like connect with others. And when we play shows, we want to play for shows that are like family oriented, you know, like have all kinds of ages.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. Yeah, because I hear in your music that energy, like that spirituality coming through it, like the use of the sounds to kind of portray the message, and then like the positivity, and like I can hear that definitely. But I definitely hear the psychedelic part of it too.
Thank you. That's
Those guitars with those reverberating guitars.
Yeah,
I'm like, those reflections are nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys right now have 3 songs on Spotify. It was Brownies, Fuego, and Waves, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I heard them in a little bit of a different order, just based, I guess, on like the Spotify like popularity stuff. So I heard Fuego first, which for me, like, it really connects with that like tribalness inside of me. Like my own like shamanic heritage is there, and I can kind of hear it. But it's also like bringing us into the present. It's not like, I mean, obviously we're not in the jungle, but it's like, it brings a little bit of that, like, that natural nature in us, to stay grounded and connected to the earth and nature and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I never
it does.
heard that way.
Yeah, it's got like and being like the fuego, so it's like lighting that fire, right?
Yeah.
Like lighting the fire inside of people and like the spirit within them to kind of like, all right, you know, get moving.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love it.
Nice to hear.
I love the way you put it. Yeah, because that's the point of that song. You know, it's like it kind of talks about like the fire within you, you know, that's burning inside you, that you want to express yourself, you want to push forward, you know, you want to move on. And it's like, that's why the song is so energetic, you know. It's like, yeah, this is the fire inside of me, like feel it, you know, like in a good way, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
yeah, it's cool that the way you put it is like awesome. Like, I would have never thought of that, but it just, I guess, like, it speaks for itself, you know.
Yeah,
and it's awesome to hear someone put it together like that. Yeah, that's nice.
Basically, the song is touching you, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Feeling it.
And imagine
That's great.
all your listeners, right? Like even kids, like you said, family, like everybody.
Yeah, and that's
know,
great. We
it's
really
for
put a
all
lot of time
ages.
and effort into our craft, and we really dedicate ourselves to each and every single song that we do.
Yeah, I kind of wish I could sit in and watch how it all like builds, like when
Whenever
you guys
you
start
want.
layering, you know, like
You're more
layering.
than
Well, you're always welcome. Whenever you want.
Yeah, because I could just imagine like how, like when I introduced you guys, I was talking about that synchronous spirit. Like I can imagine that you guys are all kind of getting in rhythm with each other, right? Like it's just kind of like all flowing, and it has to flow that way in order for you to produce like a really beautiful sound. And I think that's what you guys are able to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we become one. Once we start playing all of our
Yes.
instruments, we just become one body,
And
and we just flow.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So with that like spiritual process, do you ever feel like there's anything that like, okay, so when people start stepping into that spirituality, sometimes we start to see things within ourselves maybe that aren't always as nice.
Aligning, definitely, yeah.
So like how have you guys like or if you guys can, one of you guys can tell me like how have you managed facing those kind of, you know, looking in the mirror kind of thing?
It's kind of like she said, you have to hold yourself accountable, you know, and it can be hard. Like, there's certain things that personally I have overcome before, but then you kind of like come back to them somehow. You're like, dude, I was doing so good. Why am I doing this again? You know. So at that point, you have to be aware and reset again. You're like, okay, let me go back and redo this the way I want to do it. You know.
Yeah.
Like all those bad habits. You know, like personally, like certain things, like even the relationship with yourself, you know, how you're treating your body, like the way you're eating, the way if you're exercising, or if you're is like sleeping enough, you know, all that's like is your own relationship to yourself, you know. And I personally have a lot of like trouble with that because I'm a very busy person, you know. But I'm learning to get around it, you know. It takes time. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that's good. And you have to really spend time with it, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did I see something about you guys? So being in the shamanic heritage, I'm going to stick with that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm curious about like your guys' experience with plant medicine. Like, is that more recent for you guys? Or have you guys experienced with plant medicine?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been years, like, wow.
Okay.
Well, I started like, I don't do like a lot of like psychedelics now, but when I was younger, I for sure had my, you know, my tryouts, you know, my I did I love mushrooms. So mushrooms are like a really nice way to like see things through another window, you know. And I when I was like in my, now I'm 32 now, in my early 20s, I experimented with a lot of things. And the way I did it was like, I just want to try it out, you know. Like I don't want people to tell me how it feels. Like, let me do it, you know. so I did it, and out of everything, mushrooms are my favorite for sure.
Nice.
And then they have their own experience, you know.
Yeah, tell me, Cindy.
Same. I want to say I haven't really experienced much with plant medicine myself, but mushrooms and marijuana, you know, they definitely make me see things differently, or, you know, go inwards. And then the mountains, I guess, like being in nature. That's another one for me that it's very healing for myself. I guess like the main one for me is like, how do I connect more with nature, or have like that kind of like relationship, you know, with myself, with nature, and everyone. Like, I want to have a better relationship with everyone.
So do you have plants?
I do have inner plants, And
what kind of plants do you have?
Just like you know, like the kind of like the basic pothos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Mine's
I
barely
used
surviving.
The snake plants, those are awesome.
a couple of years ago I was getting into like gardening, and that's
Okay.
something that I
She
kind of
really
like fell off from, but definitely want to go back into like
Yeah.
digging my fingers into the soil and just giving that seed the time and the process to like watch it grow. And then that's another relationship with food as well, like growing your own food and then like having that kind of
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
relationship.
Yeah.
You're up, Ricky.
Yeah, I can do
Next.
mushrooms. I can do weed here and there. Why not?
yeah.
I mean, it's great. It feels great. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, especially
I like
hanging with
it.
these guys. I
know.
mean, it's a good thing too.
Lots
To
of
be
laughs,
part
I'm
of,
sure.
so we can all do the join. So it's just good times.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've experimented in psychedelics in my early 20s.
Okay.
I've had some good trips,
Nice.
memorable ones. But now I stick more to flower.
Okay.
Pretty much just
Yeah.
opens my mind, and I'm more keen into what we're doing as
Yeah.
far as the band.
Dialing it in.
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
That's Fernando.
It only gets better.
Fernando always brings the weed around. So Fernando, let me hit that. Yeah, it's a beautiful experience to I don't know, like the way I think about it is like if people haven't experienced it, I feel like it would be cool to try it. Like it is scientifically proven that mushrooms are something that can get you out of depression and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's it's good. It's Mother Nature, providing to us.
Yep. It's already there for us.
I wanna throw in something
Sure.
more. One of my highlights with mushrooms, and I don't want to like what's it called, like what's the word?
Impose.
No, spoil it for anyone. But for me, it was like the highlight or the main message was like all you need is love. Like
Nice.
as cliche as it sounds, but
No, but
like,
it's so profound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're like, give me the love.
And there can be bad trips too. I've had some crazy trips where I'm like, ugh, but then you think about it. Why did I have this trip?
Yes.
Because this is what was in my mind at the time. So you gotta be careful too with that.
Yeah, sometimes we have to face those fears.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
demons.
absolutely.
They're like right in your
They're in
face.
there.
You're like, ah.
they're
You gotta
in.
release the demons.
Yeah,
Gotta release
it's
it.
crazy. It's crazy.
Do you guys have any like musical influences or mentors that kind of guided you in your guys' musical career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Many.
Many. Nice.
Yeah, I feel like we all have different influences. A lot of us love Latin music, obviously. Like personally, I grew up like listening to cumbia because of my tios. Like they will always play it. And then a lot of 60s, 70s psychedelic music. Like the classics. The
Yeah.
Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and then we
Nice.
also love like chicha, like Peruvian cumbia, like Peruvian psychedelic cumbia, like that's super sick, It's
Yeah.
like to think that all this movement was going on, everyone's just paying attention to the British invasion when the chicha's
Yeah.
going on at the same time.
Yes.
That's crazy, Personally, that's me, and I don't know if you guys want to share something.
As a first generation Mexican American, my parents they migrated from my mom Mexico City, my dad from El Estado de Mexico, and I grew up listening to a lot of cumbias and rock en español. So I remember like Café Tacuba, Caifanes, mainly those. Also a little bit of the Doors, and
Cool.
but yeah. Los Ángeles Azules.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Pasteles verdes.
The classics.
Terrícolas, all the same here because of my dad. He was that one person that he got home from work and he turned on the stereo and
Nice.
turned it up so he played a lot of Pasteles Verdes, Caminantes and all that. Well, I mean, I love that music. And same, the Doors. So I think those are like my dad is the influence because he played that music for me. So,
That's nice.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, same with me, Coming home, I remember my mom having salsa music or cumbia or some merengue in the background. But it was something that I never really paid attention to, but it was there.
Yeah.
So I was really more into like Led Zeppelin and The Doors and Bad Brains. I was very heavy into punk rock and a lot of rock. But as you grow, it's part of your culture. Like it's in you,
Yeah.
you know, and we all have maybe different backgrounds, but it's the culture. We share the same culture where
Yeah.
all of our background is kind of the same music.
Yeah.
So when I first started playing for this band, it's pretty much the first time I played this style of music. And it was, I had to reprogram my brain, but something inside me told me this is the path to take.
Nice.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
They're great musicians,
awesome.
and I'm honored to be part of this band.
Yeah, I feel like the environment has a lot to do with it too, you know, because when I moved from Mexico, I moved when I was 14, and so back in Mexico, I was the only thing I was listening to is whatever was like on the radio or like they would play on TV, you know, because you're young, you just
Same.
like whatever it's
Yeah.
around you listen to, you
Yeah.
know, a lot of cumbia because of my tios, but then I would hear Shakira, you know, and I would like Shakira. I'm like, I like her, you know, because
Yeah.
in her rock era or whatever, you know.
Yes.
And then my mom was already working here, and then she went and visited us one time, and she brought this like carpet full of CDs, and I was like, that opened my mind because she gave it to me, and it had Metallica, Linkin Park,
Nice.
like all these super sick
Yeah.
as like bands. I was like, what is this? System of a Down. So when I heard that, I was like, whoa, like, I was like, is this even possible, dude? Like, she gave me a CD Walkman, and then I was just listening to it, and then when I moved here, like I said, like, the environment has a lot to do with it. So when I started going to high school, a lot of the kids that I was going to were from other parts of Mexico or, like, Latin America, you know?
Yeah.
And they were all listening to, like, ska, like,
Oh,
Mexican
yeah.
ska, like,
Yeah.
Panteon Rococo, Inspector, like all these bands, like, so all that plays a part in your upbringing,
Heck
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like environment has a lot to do with it too.
For
yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And then how did you guys all meet?
High school.
High school? Really?
Her and I went through high school.
Nice.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
and then we started a band later on, and then that band around that the first time we started a band, we met
That's
Ricky.
when I met you guys.
Yeah,
at
he
the
was
show.
in another
I was
another
playing
band.
Oh,
another band,
okay.
Yeah.
so-
You guys are looking at each other like, I see.
Yeah,
you.
It's
Whoa.
funny. Tell her the story. Tell her the story.
Well, I saw them play, and I was like, damn, these guys are. I like, their image and all their
Yeah.
sound, right? So, vine a Miguel, and I'm like, ¿qué onda, güey? Hey, ¿qué onda? So, I was interested in, like, get to know him, right? So, and I was, you know what? Someday, we're gonna make music together.
He told me that.
he was
dude.
like-
Yeah, I saw
he
this
was like-
planted the seed.
Dang, I guess
Okay,
so.
he just.
I was
went-
like, see, wait.
Yeah,
but in my
here we
mind,
are.
I'm like, yeah, I'm sure, but like I'm not expecting anything, you know.
Yeah.
He's getting me in a party environment time where, and he pulls me aside. He's like, hey, wait, ¿te quieres decir algo? I'm like, what? He's like, someday we're gonna make music, and I was like, Simon, chido, güey, a huevo. Yeah, but it just lit my mind, And look at us, dude, like
Yeah.
10 years later, here we are,
That's cool.
I love it.
And then,
He manifested it.
yeah, he did.
He's all, I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah, and that's cool. That says a lot,
Yeah,
it's,
for
it's
sure.
cool. And then Fernando,
We just met.
Where
him,
did we
like,
find you,
couple-
Fernando?
They just found me. I was out
he
on the
was on
street.
the road. He was like,
Hey,
hey, I need a ride.
He was
They
hiding.
picked you up
Cindy
right
was
now?
like, hey, this guy needs a ride. No, what had happened was I was rehearsing at Naked City Audio,
Okay.
and they were rehearsing that night as well. And so I came out and I saw Cindy, and I just started asking questions. And when I found out who they were, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of your music. Like, I'm down to jam if you guys are down to have me. And so she was like, yeah, let me ask the rest of the guys in the band. So they invited me in, and I sat down, and it was pretty much, honestly, it was kind of meant to be, because every song they played, I just felt like I knew exactly what to do
Oh,
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool
without
jam.
even having rehearsed with them. And I'm lucky enough, Dan Robustelli from Naked City Audio recorded it for us. So I have our first jam together
That's
that
cool.
we've ever
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
That's
and I've
awesome.
compared it then and now, and it's like we've gotten a lot better as a tight unit since I've joined them. I can understand their music more. I know the breaks, but I wasn't really too far off because I just really felt it, what they were putting out there. I was like, this is it. This is the road I'm going to take.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great band to be in.
What was the name of the place that you guys were rehearsing at?
In Naked City
Naked
Audio.
City Audio.
Oh, is that over there in Vegas?
In Vegas, yeah.
okay.
Oh, shout out John and Dan. They are helping us with our first album right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
our
That's
debut. Yeah. And also, before we move on, I want to real quick give a shout out to John. He couldn't join us today, but he's our guitarist.
Foggy.
Foggy, we
Miss you,
love you. We
Foggy.
miss you.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he
Pretty cool.
had another gig. He has another band, The Red Seduction. Shout out to The Red Seduction too. So he had already planned that before this
Oh, okay.
this came up. But John, the way we met him is I met him. Well, no. When we were in Corumpa, his band used to play a lot of shows with us,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I started a side project with another homie, and then I went and scouted him. I was like, because I
Oh.
love how he plays guitar. I was like, hey bro, I'm starting this sad boy project. You want to come through? He was like, yeah. So we jammed for like 2 years together in that band, and then when the pandemic hit, that band separated too, and this band separated. So I was like, man, we need to keep going. So
Yeah.
I told them, let's move on, let's do something else. And I have someone that I would like to bring in. And they're like, who? I was like, John. And they're like, yeah. So Brad John in and just combined
Nice.
forces.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining, John.
Yeah, shout out, John.
We missed you today.
Yeah, you're here in spirit, bro. We know.
Stanford Sound and Stage is the premier provider of sound and stage equipment for small and medium-sized events. We have a wide selection including speakers, microphones, lighting, staging, and truss. Our other services include event coordination, sound engineering, and talent buying. We have a team of experienced professionals who can help you plan and execute your event flawlessly. We are committed to providing our customers with the highest quality equipment and service at the most competitive prices. Contact Stanford Sound and Stage at the number on your screen or visit us at stanfordsoundco.com to learn how we can help make your event go a stage above the rest.
All right, guys, I wanted to let you guys take an opportunity to give any shout outs or if there's anybody you want to give some nods to.
Real quick, Danny, who helped us out yesterday playing the gig for Cito de Mayo. Shout out Danny. He actually played with us and then drove back to Las Vegas and play another show at 1:30 a.m. That was super crazy of him and cool, you know. We told him, please call us every single time you feel tired or anything, please. And he's like, yeah, I got it. So he just drove back and did his gig out there. Crazy, but hey, shout out Danny.
Shout out, Danny.
Danny.
Another shout out would be to my sister Randy. She was the first drummer for Corumpa, former of Viaje Nahual. So I love you, sis.
And shout outs to Classic Bato.
Classic
Bato.
Nice.
They hook us up with a free a hat and a couple jerseys, right?
Yep.
Shout outs to them. Thank you. We appreciate it. And you guys are great persons.
Also Suavecito.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out.
Shout out
Hey.
Jibber.
Hey.
Suavecito, Gunther's, Cafecito,
Cervezacito.
Cervezacito,
All of them. All the citos.
the sound and staff, Stanford Sound. They did an amazing job
Shout
for
out
us.
Modesto.
Yeah,
Thank you. We
Modesto,
love
thank you for hooking us up.
Gabby.
Thank you and your crew.
Gabby.
Appreciate it.
Gilson Street.
Jorge.
Yeah, thank you for having
We
us.
look forward to coming back if you'll have us.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm kind of curious how you guys felt yesterday on the stage. How was the vibe? You know, how did it go?
It was very cool.
Yeah?
Super
Yeah.
fun.
The weather was phenomenal last night.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was a very well put
Nice.
together event,
Yeah.
you know, like I personally appreciate that, you know, when there's a lot of communication and you can work with the people, you know,
Yeah.
and they're understanding your needs, you know, as someone that's coming out of town to play, you know, and like
Yeah.
For
that was
sure.
beautiful. We're very well put together. It was a great job from everyone, you know.
Yep.
I felt a lot of love from everyone and all the other bands too.
Yeah, we felt really
performers.
welcomed.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. That means a
Very
lot.
welcome.
We should give them a shout out too. They're really cool. Like, and besides there's great musicians, all of them. We met Sancho Villa, the guys from Sancho Villa.
Sancho
We met
Betty's
Betty's
Mustache.
Mustache. They're awesome.
Right
like, their
on,
music
that's
is
good.
really cool. Like really good bands. Yeah.
What was the name of the guy that played after us? Diamond.
Diamond Ortiz. We didn't really get to talk to him, but he was
No,
super cool.
yeah.
Like his performance was really cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's
And what do they
awesome.
call freak DJs or
Oh,
freak
Funk
sounds?
Freaks.
Funk freaks.
Oh, they're all super.
Funk freaks in the house. Yeah, they were
Awesome.
good.
All
They were
bangers.
playing great songs, yeah.
Como yo digo, I was saying like puro chingazos, están
Sí.
tocando like, song after song. Like
Yeah,
damn.
damn.
Yeah,
That's
keeping that
awesome.
beat going, keeping that party
Yeah,
alive.
bro. Like
Right
shout
on.
out Funk Freaks. They're awesome.
So cool. How was like coming over here, by the way, like coming out from Vegas? You guys drove then, right?
Yeah.
We drove, yeah.
In one car or what?
2 cars at
Two
first,
cars?
and now we're gonna
Okay.
drive back. in
Who's
one.
driving back?
I'm gonna start driving, and
You're
if
gonna
I get
drive?
tired, probably give it to Ricky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
Who's the
help a
one that
little bit.
shouldn't drive?
Cindy.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Did you fall asleep or what?
No, I just felt like the van was too big for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
I'm used to driving a small car, so
Yeah.
driving that van was like I was like
Yeah,
trying to
she's-
reach the
You'll
wheel.
start running over
Every
things.
time I hit the pedal, I felt like it was going too fast, and I was
Oh,
kept going
got
like
it.
that. I was like,
Yes. So funny.
got too nervous.
I like it. It's a good way to get out of driving too. Just kidding.
Yeah. So like the day before, I was up to like 1:30 a.m. with my mechanic in Vegas, getting it like together so we
Yeah.
can come. You know, I changed the brakes, the oil, so you know. And
How
then,
long had it been before
yeah,
that?
So I only slept for like 3 hours. So on the way here, I was like, Cindy, you need to take over, you know. And she's like, okay. So I'm trying to sleep, and I'm sleeping, and I feel, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was like, is the van doing this, or are you doing it? She's like, I think I am. I was like, no, don't do that. Yeah, and I was like, I think I had enough sleep. Let me take over.
Yeah, you don't want to get trapped in Barstow or something.
Right?
But yeah, it was a good drive overall.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
and,
nice.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Going back.
There's a point where there's like a whole bunch of hills or mountains where there's like a lot of
coming
green,
into-
green
yeah.
scenery. That's my favorite part. I forgot what that section is called, but it was
Okay.
nice too.
Yeah, coming into
see.
LA, I think.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Nice.
I don't even know the counties here. Yeah, I should.
Me either, don't worry. I just know my block.
Yeah, same.
I was listening to Brownies,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was a really cool song. Very happy, playful, kind of put me in a good mood. And I was just curious, like, so who made the brownies? Because I'm sure there were brownies involved.
Yeah, that was
My friend Jasmine. Shout out Jasmine.
Were they super good or what? She makes the
Yeah.
butter and
Bomb.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Infused
Right on.
brownies.
yeah. At the time,
She
she
brought
was.
them.
This was during Corompa. We never even played that song. It was one of the last songs we wrote with Corompa.
Oh, okay.
And she was doing backup vocals for us at the time, so she would come to practice. And that one time she brought the brownies, ate them, felt good, and I was like, "Hey guys, I have some chords. Let's play a song." And then it just everything.
Nice.
We were all high on brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those will kick in,
Yeah.
right? And like sneak up on you.
Yeah, like I don't know, we're like, oh, you're melting and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's why we were like, yeah, let's call it brownies, you know. And then the message is cool on that song.
I feel like that one like puts me in like the sun or something. Like it's like the summer song. Like I want to be out on the beach or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, like walking
It's
the beach.
cheerful.
that song came
Riding
out.
the bicycle.
Yeah, right?
next
I'm
to the
like-
bridge, yeah.
Just kidding. All cheerful.
It came out last year, right when spring started. So you know how it has
okay.
the little birds.
Yes, I heard
And you
that.
know a lot of baby birds are born during spring. You know, like a lot of animals are born. You know.
Yep.
And then I remember honestly like listening to it when it came out, and it just made me feel like in sync with nature. I was like, "Wow, this
I
is
know, I
cool!"
love
like,
that.
yeah, this because it
Just
came out like
added-
at the right time. You know.
Yeah.
Weren't we writing it like kind of like before or during the pandemic?
That was
And
before.
yeah, around that time it was like a lot of people
Before
were coming
March.
out to ride their bicycles.
Oh yeah.
So that was another inspiration too. It was like, let's come out, let's go out
I
and
like
ride.
that. Yeah,
Let's go
that's
outside.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were riding their bikes during the pandemic. Yeah, we were in all those rides. Like we all ride bikes. He does like mountain biking. I
Oh,
do
cool.
too. I do
Right
too.
on.
She does a lot of Wednesday rides. Like shout out Tall Bike.
Tall bike Wednesdays.
How about
Yeah, there's this tall,
Tall
bike in
What?
Las Vegas.
Also, Chef
Hump day.
Lunes.
Hump day.
Okay.
Chief-
Yeah.
Oh, in LA here. Where is it from? South something. I don't remember. But they're right here in LA. and Chief
Sounds
Lunes.
true.
They're the
Chief
ones
Lunes.
the first ones that brought us out here to LA to play for their bike
Oh,
ride. This
okay.
was like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then
That's
they
cool.
invited us again for their Fourth of July party.
Right
So it's like a
on.
fireworks. So we were in
Dang,
the
wait.
bikes following them, and they're just popping fireworks
Oh, that's
through
cool.
the
That's
city.
crazy, yeah.
And then we get to a certain point where they all stop, and then we perform for them. You know.
Hey,
Yeah, we did that twice.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Shout out Chief Lunes, yeah. Eden, he's really cool.
That's awesome. So with Waves, that one has like a jazzy feel or something going with it, right? Like
Yeah.
the guitars and the way you guys played it, it's a little bit different than the other two.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was interesting. So how did that one kind of evolve into that style, or you know, because I hear it with the drums too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah. So for that one, we're very interested on like experimenting with music, you know, and we were just talking about this. We want to take some classes, some jazz classes.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I'm like very attracted to like the jazz chords, you know, and so I wanted to play something with like those are jazz chords, you know. It's only 2 chords, which is crazy, by the way. It's not a hard song, you know, but it's just like the vibe and the way like I guess it got put together,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And yeah, we just wanted to experiment, you know.
That one was cool. I like
Yeah,
that
it's
too.
like,
Yeah.
well, how did we come up with it?
Well,
We
you
just-
were playing the 2 chords,
Yeah.
and then in the end there, I was like, oh, like I like those chords, and I was kind of like throwing in the synth, and I was like, hold on, everyone, let's keep jamming to those 2 chords because I
Nice.
have a little melody in my head that I want to
Yeah.
get out, you know. So that's when it just kind of like came together that day. I remember the same day we had some neighbors from the other studio.
Oh,
that
dude,
came
yeah,
in.
they were like practicing on their own, and then they heard the song. We were just jamming on it for like 30 minutes, and we just kept
Nos quedamos
playing and
clavados
playing, yeah.
ahí.
And then I don't know, we see like three guys just looking at us, and I was like, oh.
You guys-
But yeah, they were just listening, and when we were done,
That's
they're like,
awesome.
wow, that was beautiful. I was like, cool. Okay, so yeah, we can do something with that.
We got some here.
Yeah. So that's how Waves came about, and then she later on kind of like added the breaks like da 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 da. So yeah, like yeah, she ended up putting it together. At the end.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how Waves came about.
Yeah. So the recordings are really crisp, actually.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and mastered really well. So who's responsible for the recordings?
So it's crazy because Brownies and Fuego, we recorded it with a friend. His name is Edgar, and he recorded, mixed, and mastered those 2 songs
Oh, okay.
From Arcade Records. right?
from Arcade Records. Yeah, and Waves, we recorded live at Naked City,
Oh, okay.
and John from Naked City mixed it, and then this guy, I forgot his name, but he goes by the mysterious Mamo on Instagram, and he's actually from here, from LA. He mastered that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, funny enough, shout out to David from Tropa Mágica.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I talk to him and I'm like, hey bro, where did you master your
Yeah.
music? You know, and he's so cool. He'll be like, here, dude, like this
Go
is the
here.
people I use here and there, you know. And then I hit up his people and they let us like.
Okay.
They told, yeah, let's work, you know.
Cool people.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cool. Everyone is cool. David and Rene are like really cool. Every time we see them, like super nice
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
How do you guys, what do you guys think of like the studio recording process versus like your guys' just live events?
It's
do you-
different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Way different. Yeah, way different.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like live, you can be a little more loose, you know.
Yeah.
If you mess up, it's okay. The show must go on, right?
Just gotta keep going. Yeah.
Yes, but like recording, more when it's like a live recording. So I love live recordings, but it can be really hard sometimes because if one of us messes up, we gotta redo it and then
Yeah.
again and again and again until everyone's kind of like comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's times where like everyone's getting it right and like for example like I don't get it, you know, and I'm just making everyone redo it. So
That never happens. It's just occasionally
yeah,
with you.
it's only when I-
It's
but-
all them. Just
yeah, but so we're still trying to find our the method that will work for us better too.
okay.
Because we're also trying to put our stuff faster now, you know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the band is requiring it, you know,
Yeah.
like we need to put a. It's not that we need, but we would like.
That's
to put-
another spot of the band needs to focus to make
Yeah.
it work easier.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
we need to work a little bit more on that on the recordings,
Yeah,
but
so-
we'll get there. You know,
It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, we're still
It's a little
trying.
drier, right?
and I think playing live,
yeah.
we just enjoy it.
Yes.
It's great experience playing.
Plus,
with
you're
them.
getting all the energy from whoever's listening, the
Right.
audience
Yeah,
and
right,
stuff
right,
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in front of us.
They
Yeah.
get to see you kind of in your natural state.
Yeah. It's
No,
really-
okay, let's repeat that, right?
Yeah. Hold up.
Yeah, I'll
again,
stop
Ricky.
right in the middle of the song. It's
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
In the studio, you can
You're
stop
like-
and you can correct that
We
mistake.
used to do that actually. Like, if somebody didn't start right, hold on, let's do it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we moved on from that. We're getting
Well,
a
you can
little
just
better.
do a few run throughs now, right? You can
Yeah.
just plug it in if you need to, and
Yeah,
then go
yeah,
back
yeah.
in editing and stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're still looking for something that will work for us better,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
in the future. Yeah.
So, Cindy, you're talking about like going. You like nature and stuff like that. Do you like to go hiking?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I love it.
Cool. Is there good places to hike out there?
My personal favorite is Red Rock Canyon
Oh, okay.
in Las Vegas. And there's other cool nature spots also, like Charleston.
Oh, okay.
They have like pines out there, waterfalls.
Nice.
Gold Strike is another one where they have the hot springs.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was cool.
They have ropes also where you can climb down.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. A little bit of a challenge to hike or whatever.
Yeah, it's really
nice.
cool.
Yes. Can you like swing into it? Is there any spots where you can like swing into like a pool or something?
No.
No. Okay.
It's
There
kind of-
might be. I just haven't really like found them yet.
You
but-
gotta make one.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You gotta make one.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, what other things are you guys into, like over there besides music? Like, what do you guys do in between?
Work.
Work, work, work.
Yeah, I will still have our day jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do mountain biking. That's the way I go out to nature. You know, I love hitting the trails downhill, anything that has to do with pedals.
Do you
I'm
go like
into
really
it.
steep ones?
Yeah, I can do a couple.
Yeah,
good
I've seen
ones.
some
Yeah.
crazy trails out here in Irvine where they're coming down this hill. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like a real steep one, and then they gotta like do a turn. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would fly off. If I
Yeah, that's
launch.
insane.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I love to do. You know, it's,
That's pretty
yeah, it's
awesome.
on
Do
me.
you ride by yourself or you go with
No,
friends?
we have a group with
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of other friends, but yeah, we always
That's
like to
pretty
hit
cool.
the trails.
Yeah.
What is the place where you normally go to?
There's a bootleg which is on Henderson. Like it's a 45 minutes drive from where I
okay.
live. We also do. We've been here in Vegas, in California, like Big Bear,
Oh, okay.
Colorado. We also been in
Oh, wow.
Colorado, so we try to.
Oh, you guys really
Yeah.
travel to go
Yeah.
do this stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. That's commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is convenient.
Same. I do the same
Yeah.
thing. I actually ride with him a lot too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the one that got me into mountain biking. Yeah,
Nice.
it was funny because one time he invited me. He's like, "I'm gonna rent a bike for you. Just come." I was like, "All right, cool." And that night I partied so hard, and then he calls me, and I wake up. I'm like,
Wait, estamos
he's
esperando.
like, "¿Dónde estás?"
The bike
I was
is
like,
here.
I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I'm on my way." He's like, "Where are you at?" I was like, "Here." He's like, "Don't worry about it. Next time." I was like,
Yeah, because I had the group, right? And
They
were
and They were
waiting.
waiting. We all were waiting on him. And I'm
"Yeah,"
like, you know
and I
what?
felt so bad.
And I just took the bike back to the shop because you pretty much pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Dude, we were waiting.
But then since then, I was like, "Man, I gotta get my own bike," you know. So like a year later, I got my
Yeah.
own bike, and I started joining them.
Oh, okay.
But before that, I used to do a lot of road biking. So
Oh,
I used to
okay,
do like
nice.
crazy distances. Like, I remember during the pandemic actually. It was summer and I remember this guy talking about it. He got to the bar where we were at. He came in all cool riding his bike and stuff. I was like, "What's up with this guy?" You know? And he's like, "Yeah, I just did 100 miles." I was like,
Oh,
100
yeah.
miles on the
Jesus.
bike. I was like, "You really just rode 100 miles?" He's like, "Yeah, it's called a century." I was like, "Man, I'm gonna do that." So like I started training and like within 2 months I was able to do those 100 miles. I was like, sick.
Dang.
But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and then I don't feel like after everything opened up again from the pandemic, I started writing less because now during the pandemic we didn't really get together as much with the band, but I feel like now the band is taking so much time, not in a bad way because we love doing this, you know, but it's harder for me to like make time for things like that. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
We're focusing a lot on this, honestly, and
Recording, was
playing
one of them.
shows. We're getting ready for our first tour in July, so
Okay.
all that stuff like does take your time. You know, I feel like music can be very jealous. You know, like if you don't treat her right, she won't treat you right. You know.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you gotta dedicate her
I'm
some
seeing
time.
that.
Yeah,
It's a marriage.
yeah, you're literally married. Like you
Yeah.
gotta give her some time.
Married
So,
to music.
yeah, so she can give you back something. You know?
Yeah.
That I get that. So are you guys recording or were you recording in February at another?
We've been recording.
Been recording
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah, it's just we kind of already had our album done, and then somehow the files got lost, and we had to re-record our album. You know.
Yeah.
You're talking about this year, right?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, with at the Dome
Oh yeah, we went to so
with Naked City.
Oh, okay.
So it was a session where we recorded all the songs,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like we also like go back and overdub, you know, like
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So we're almost done with that. But yeah, we want to have the album ready before July so we can take it on the road with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you said that going back to the files.
Yeah.
How did that feel when you lost your
Oh,
files?
it's a very it can be frustrating, you know, because you have all these plans for certain things, you know, like is your
Deadlines.
yeah,
that we had to
deadlines
meet.
for us was like this music was our presentation, our business card, you know, and
Yeah.
like look, we have an album, can we play your festival, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at the moment I was mad, you know, I was
For
mad,
sure.
and then I was like, whatever, this happened for a reason. We can keep working. Let's redo
Yeah.
it. Let's reset and that's when John came in. I was like, because we used to record with him with Corompa, and then we decided to try things, you know, to try other recording studios, to try it with our friend, and but when that happened, he always told us, when are you coming back home, baby? To stuff like that, you know. So and then I was like, actually, this just happened, and he's like, come, dude, come, let's
Yeah.
record. So he's helping us now right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
Right on.
so he's coming through.
Good
Thank
friends.
you, John. Yeah.
Jeez, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And then what are you guys where are you guys going to next, or what's the next show or whatever?
We're throwing
Tropidarks.
Tropidarks.
Yeah, yeah.
We're throwing our
Tropidarks.
very first dance party. It's called Tropidarks. So it's
Okay.
like we're gonna do a mixture of like cumbia and like tropical sounds
Ooh.
with like goth and dark and like 80s and like post
Dang,
punk,
that sounds
Rock en
fun.
español.
rock en español, reggaeton, un
When
poco
is that gonna
perreo.
be?
May
Sonideras.
24th.
Okay. All right.
At That Fellows, yeah. So
Okay.
it's a bar in Vegas. It's a really cool
Okay.
bar, and yeah, we want to start doing events ourselves more often, you know.
Right
Yeah,
on.
so,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Okay, that's coming up soon.
Yeah, we just started. Actually, we just started promoting it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And what's that place? You said it was Oddfellows.
Yeah.
What is the vibe in there like? What are they?
So
what is
if
that
you go
going
on their bio, it's like it says it's the club for people that don't like going to clubs. So it's for
Oh.
like the outsiders, the people,
introverts.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
The
like
people who
it's
stay
a
in
really
bed all
cool
day
vibe
just
because it's like yeah. I feel like it's like the so they have different nights, you know, and they have the nights
okay.
that all the Vegas bars and venues and like clubs don't have. Like everyone's about like the hype, like you know, like
Yeah.
pop 40 top 40s, you know, all that
Yeah.
stuff. But that one you'll have a K-pop night, you'll have a cumbia night, you know, like
That's
like
80s
cool.
night.
yeah, so
Like themed or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Hey,
so
that's
it's
kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love
Because then
that
it
bar.
introduces people to more music
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
just the mainstream pop stuff.
I feel like that bar is like you could say like it's for the locals, you know, and
Yeah.
then all that all that melting of like the cultures and the sounds, you know, it you
Starts
can-
creating something new
Yeah,
too
yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
It's a scene for sure. Like you have. I go there a lot, you know,
Yeah.
because I live down the street, like 2 blocks down, so I just walk there, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, I DJ there too sometimes with my friends from
Oh,
Sonido.
really?
Yeah,
Cool.
shout out Edwin and Cantinflas. They do Sonidero en Sábado Gigante, and they let me DJ with them. Here and there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's
I'm
super
gonna have
fun.
to check that out one of these days.
Yeah, anytime any of you guys go, hit us up. We'll show you good time.
Yeah,
for
that'd be
sure.
fun. For sure. Where can we find your guys' music or more information about you guys? Do you guys have your own Insta pages or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So for the band it's Viaje Nahual, and you spell it Viaje Nahual.
Okay.
That's our band's Instagram page. I don't know if they want to follow me. I go by Cumbia Darks. Everything's together, and instead of C for Cumbia, just the K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Mine is Amor de Colores. It's Amor and then dot D3 dot colores.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I'm ese pinche Ricky. That's how you
Hey.
that's
I love that.
that's
That's so good.
I don't know. That's the way a lot of people call me.
Ese pinche Ricky.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I don't even know why.
I don't even know why.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You could find me under Nando_percussion.
Okay. All right.
Oh, and then John's Instagram is foggy_vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Foggy vibes. All
Yeah.
right, got it.
It's funny how those handles work.
Yeah. Oh my
But you can
god.
find our music pretty much anywhere, every single platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
exists.
all our songs are released on all the platforms at this point. Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music.
Everything.
YouTube,
Yeah.
yeah.
All the
YouTube.
main ones. TikTok.
Yeah, it's on TikTok. It's on TikTok too. I don't think
Are
people
you
are
guys
using.
on TikTok?
Yeah, we have a TikTok.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't really use it though.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
If I may say something, I want to give a shout out
Sure.
to, all the fans that come out to our shows and support us and support our music, because we see them out there and we see them with their phones and they're filming us and taking pictures and then they're uploading it and they're really showing us the love that we're showing them, so they're really part of the band the way we feel it, because without them we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Yeah, true. Like all the listeners.
Yeah, I
the
want to thank
friends.
all of them and all of our new followers that we've made in the past shows that we made last night. Met a bunch of new followers here in Santa Ana, and we're very grateful to be out here playing for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming, guys. It's been awesome talking to you guys, learning all about you. Also, love that you guys play with synths because that's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go crazy with the synths, man. I can just be messing with the oscillators and the frequencies and
That's
the
so
LFO and all that stuff, and I'm just there. My
Right
poor
on.
neighbors, though.
Cracking the synth.
Yeah, because I'm just doing all these weird sounds and stuff. It's just so much fun.
That's cool.
You're using, you said the Juno right now?
Yeah.
Cindy? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. That was on.
We should jam one time.
Yeah, come join
There it
us
is.
sometime. Absolutely.
There it is.
That's awesome. All
Planting
right.
the
Well,
seed.
I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Again, this is Sonido Sin Límites. I'm Priscilla Noriega, your host. Also sound engineer and stagehand for Stanford Sound and Stage. Thanks so much, everyone.
Gracias.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.